Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got an interesting show for you. I've had a bunch of you ask me about the Clemson game, and I've been working on this for a little while. That game was crazy. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about if Dabo's lost it, fans' reaction, and then also is Clemson snake bit. If you've watched them over the last several games that they played, including last year, they move the ball really well. But when they get into the red zone, the craziest stuff you can possibly think of happens. And I am wondering if they're snake bit. They may need some real good luck. They may need some good luck. That's right. Now, it's not lost on me that all this bad luck happened after Tennessee got beat by South Carolina and Dabo started running that jaw, making quite a bit of sport of us. Yep, talking about we were out there cooking some burgers, drinking a cold drink, talking about the playoffs, and then we forgot to show up for South Carolina. And then what did Dabo do? He was out there cooking some burgers, and he forgot to show up for South Carolina too. And then he forgot to show up for Tennessee, and it looks like they forgot to show up for Duke, because that was the darndest game I've ever seen. Every time they got down within the 10-yard line, some crazy fumble. And it was like the ball was just like, it was like there was grease on the ball or something. It was insane. And you sit here and you look at the score and it looks like Duke just dominated them, 28-7. But then you go to the stats, Clemson outran them. Clemson had more yardage. They outrushed them, had more passing yards, had way more first downs. I mean, they were moving the ball at will. They just kept getting it down inside the 10 and then handing it back over. 29 first downs versus 17. And they had more time of possession. Now, the Duke quarterback played a great game. And he had a couple of plays, that were incredible. And Duke's defense, they bent, but they didn't break. And then they also caught some breaks, which was very fortunate. But 2 blocked punts, or one of them might not have been blocked, might have just been shanked. They had 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, then the interception. And then they also had a turnover on downs where the guy slid too soon. Klubnik, and I thought they got the personal foul and there'd be a first down, but he slid before the line. Had he gone head first, he would have got it. But he went sliding, and they immediately mark you down as soon as you do that because they're trying to protect you, which is smart. But that was basically a turnover as well. So they had 4 turnovers, and I believe that was all in the second half. And they kept marching down. One time to the 1-yard line and then just coughed it up, and the guy runs it back 60 yards. So we're going to see how the Clemson fans reacted to this, and we'll talk about it a little bit. And this first fella is Pigskin Pete, and I've featured him before. And typically when I want to know what's going on with Clemson, I'll either watch Pigskin Pete or sometimes not Bobby Durkins. Those are the 2 guys that usually cover Clemson that I'll pick up on. And they're just regular guy YouTubers like me. And there's just a tiny bit of profanity in this, nothing major, not any terrible words or anything like that, just a little bit. But if that does bother you, skip this part, but it's not bad at all.
23-yard field goal attempt. What in the hell was that? That might be the worst kick I've ever seen in my life. Did he even make contact with his foot? Jesus, is that the best kicker? He's a true freshman. Is that the best kicker we've got?
Actually, I would have reacted even worse than that. That was actually pretty calm. He kind of kept his cool pretty good. I would have lost my mind on that kick. Especially, they kept getting down there. It's just like, you got to be kidding me. Here's another clip.
1st and goal. You got to be shitting me. Fumble on the handoff. Duke ball, I think. Did they say it? How many times can we get down in a goal-to-go situation and turn the ball over?
Again, my hat's off to him. I would have lost my mind on that play for sure. That was that fumble down there on the 5. That was crazy. It was like some sort of weird handoff problem. And here's another one.
Man, you can't. If there was a Hollywood writer, he couldn't write this. 3 trips down. That's the second time they've been on the 1-yard line. Missed field goal, fumble, recovered by Duke. Down on the 1 again, fumble, recovered by Duke.
Honestly, Clemson should have won this game. I mean, if they cash in on just a couple, 2 or 3 of those right there, the game's over, or they've at least got a good solid lead. And that changes the momentum significantly. When you're sitting there coughing it up at the 1 and the 6 and the missing kicks and doing all this crazy stuff, it's probably, I'm just going to call it bad luck. That's what it seemed like to me. It was like every time it just felt like Clemson was dominating them. They're going to go down there and score, and they're going to win this game. And I kind of thought that the whole time. And every time they got down there, they would do something crazy. Some weird fumble, odd thing would happen. And they wouldn't score, and then Duke would figure it out. You know, they would run it back 60 yards from a fumble on the 1 and then go in and score. And then all of a sudden they're up 2 scores. So again, that's Pigskin Pete. Look, when that ball was returned 60 yards from the fumble on the 1, I'd have done a lot more than lay down on that on that lazy boy. Jeez. That's why I don't know that I could do a live reaction show. That would be hard for me. Something like that happens. I don't know. But now let's watch Not Bobby Durkins. He came out right after the show and did a reaction. He was, needless to say, he was not happy.
Folks, Duke beats Clemson 28-7. And if you tuned in here to see me scream and cry or beat a TV or act like a child, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, come on!
I am laughing in disgust. But before I go any further, I'm Brian Knight. I'm not Bobby Durkins. Hey, listen, if you're going to take your shots at me, go for it. Please go for it. Please go for it. Garrett Riley in his last 2 games has lost. And not just lost, he's got dominated. And in his last 2 games, he's only managed 14 points. So maybe you want to do something with that play card. If I see one more wide receiver screen, I think I'm going to screen. How terrible that I believe that the mojo that Dabo Swinney had is gone. Or, and listen to me, I know Clemson fans are already getting ready to take this video over to TigerNet, and you're all going to skewer me up and call me an idiot and everything. I'm not the one who just lost the game 28-7 while talking about my metrics being so high for, accountability and all that good stuff. I love Swinney. He's done a lot of great things for us, but I think his mojo, I think it's probably spent at Clemson. He makes $11 million a year. He doesn't care what I think. He doesn't care what you think. Do you think he cares what you think? You've lost it.
Now, again, I'm not going to say that him making that smart aleck comment about the Vols is what's caused him to lose his mojo and have all this bad luck. But it's just funny that it happened right after that. It was like everything was going great. He's heading to the playoff, the whole 9 yards. He makes that little, and all of a sudden, he can't win anymore. He loses, 3 out of 4? So, I don't know. Might better call Barney in, say a little something over a rabbit's foot or something there, Dabo.
Close your eyes and listen to this. Winkum, pinkum, notimus, rex. Protect us all from the man with the hex.
Because it seems like everything's been going downhill since you came after the Vols. Didn't we play them in a game? I'm trying to think. Didn't we play them in the Orange Bowl? Yeah, that's right, we did. How'd that go?
Oh, who won that fight anyway?
Who was grilling burgers then, Dabo? Anyway, I did want to cover this because it's just kind of shocking. Again, I think Clemson should have won that game. I think there was a lot of bad luck, and I like Klubnik, but man, it's like bad things happen sometimes when he's touching the ball. And he'll probably get that worked out. He hadn't played a whole lot of college ball yet, even though I guess he's a sophomore now. He only played, 2 games last year. But anyway, I thought I would cover this because a lot of y'all have been talking about it, and it's been kind of wild. And Not Bobby Durkins had over 12,000 views on that video, by the way. He's gotten a bunch of views on there. But and I watched some of it, and it was good of him to come out after that game because that's not easy to do after a brutal loss like that. And same thing with Pigskin Pete. You know, he came out after the game the day after and did a video. And like I said, it's not fun, but, you know, if you're going to be on YouTube, you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. But anyway, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Let's remember to continue to cover the Vols, all our opponents, and all the crazy stuff that happens in college football. If you've not subscribed, it's on your right, my left. Just hit that little button. I'd appreciate it. And right over here is the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll love. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.